Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Maurice.
And this is WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
Tony, the fans might have missed you back on January 19th. We had a little bit of snow in the Boston area, but you're going to be back Friday night, March the 1st, right here at MWF Studios. We want the fans to come down. Admission is free.
Yes, and not only that, Boston Media is the best. It's the beast of the East. SOS, simply out of sight. Often imitated, but never duplicated.
I don't think anyone could duplicate what you and I created.
No, because it's raw.
Because I'll tell you this, there's many...
No strip, just say what we think, say what we mean. It's raw.
Many people tried to copy what we did with the Iron Sheik in this studio, and they were never able to get the recipe right, so to speak.
Right. The original is always better than the rest.
Absolutely. Tony will also be available for autographs and pose photos for a nominal fee. And again, while admission is free, we want you to come on down to the TV studio. Whether you're in Boston or anywhere around the world, we need as much fan support as possible. We have great items for sale on BostonWrestling.com. We're starting to use eBay more. The more fans that participate in getting these shows produced, the more Tony will be here. I know, Tony, our goal has been to try and get you here on a weekly basis if the fans will support it.
Yes, you know, and one thing about Boston Media that it does for a lot of us legends, Vince does a lot for us, but he keeps us undercover a lot. But with Boston Media, you can get to see Tony, you get to see the Iron Sheik, you can get to see the Tito Santana, and come and meet us live and listen to some of our stories, because some of the things that we did in our younger days, a lot of it being legal today, first of all.
Very true.
But it was a different world, and I was lucky to see the old world and see the coming of the new world.
WWE isn't going to produce a 3-DVD set for every superstar they ever had under contract. That's why these types of shows are so important, especially where we lose so many legends on a yearly basis. So again, we send out the invitation to you Friday night, March the 1st, right here at MWF Studios, Melrose, Massachusetts. Check out BostonWrestling.com for complete event information. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Maurice.
And I'm WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
We want to wish you a happy Valentine's Day, and what interesting content as we take some of your questions after we catch up on the latest news.
He is the People's Champion, the Brahma Bull, the Great One. And this,
finally, The Rock has come back,
is his story. Journey alongside the millions in this definitive guide to
the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment.
See The Rock.
It's just a man
Like you've never seen him before.
But The Rock is cooking.
The World of The Rock. Available now.
Wrestling fans, check out the brand new lapel pin from our friends at Crimson Mask. Inspired by Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon, it's Bang 316. Only $8 each or 2 for $12. If you think it makes a great holiday gift, give me a hell yeah. Get yours today at crimsonmask.bigcartel.com.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Maurice, joined by my partner in crime in this new series, Mr. David Carter, longtime MWF executive, a man that's looking forward to the big town hall meeting, WrestleMania Sunday.
I am. I can't wait to see what it's about.
Well, we got the big headlines to talk about. We already talked Raw and SmackDown on another episode.
Yes.
Let's catch up with some thoughts and opinions on what's been in the news.
Absolutely. Well, you know how you always say you love WWE Studios, their movies? Well, guess who's partnering up with them? Netflix. during the summer, they're going to film their first movie together called Main Event, and from then on, they're going to start doing movies together. And you know what? Honestly, I think it's a good idea because I think the movie theater and the box office, they don't do well in, but straight to DVD.
They're usually in the theater for about a day and a half. One weekend.
So I think the Netflix, right to Netflix, is good for me because I always enjoy watching them just because I think it's fun. And I think it'll be a good idea for them to go right there.
What WWE Studios movies have you enjoyed, out of curiosity?
Well, honestly, the ones that I've enjoyed all John Cena's. The 12 Rounds, the Marine, Legendary's really good. Have you seen Legendary?
No.
The one with Randy Orton, which I forget the names escape me right now, but
that was a good one.
It was a really good one. Also, a couple of Stone Cold ones.
Well, you know what? I have to say I enjoyed the Condemned,
yeah,
because we helped bring it to Boston.
But no, I thought it was
Over 200 fans in April of 2007 got to interact with Stone Cold Steve Austin absolutely free because they were friends and fans of the Millennium Wrestling.
Absolutely.
Pat on the back, Barry.
See No Evil, I thought was really good too.
The first one was good. Yeah, I remember I saw that in Las Vegas on 6/6/6.
Oh, wow. There you go.
June
See?
6,
So you want to poop on it, but then look
at it. Because on the plane, you're getting ready to board, and they're having the CNN on, and they're talking about how it could be the end of the world. And I said, isn't this a great show to watch when you're getting ready to go on an airplane?
Oh, absolutely. You must have been pumped. Moving on, we had more John Cena news.
That's it for Netflix.
For Netflix, yeah. I mean, what else were we going to talk about?
Their movies are horrible on Netflix.
Not sure at all. You just got to look.
No, look. You have, to different decades.
What are you talking about?
Anything new they have on Netflix is terrible.
No, I think they have some good stuff on there. You just have to look. Don't be lazy.
Yeah.
Look.
I'll go watch The Princess Bride from 1987.
I watched this movie with Owen Wilson from 2015 called No Escape. Never heard of it. Watch it. It was a great movie, all right? You got to look. Do a little research, all right? And they have great shows on there.
Your Tinder dates call it.
Yeah, here
No
we go.
Escape.
Netflix and chill, Dan. Netflix and chill. Come on. Anyways, moving on. We had John Cena, more news from him. Guy just doesn't stop doing stuff. Now he's filming this new show called Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, which was hosted by Jeff Foxworthy, but now they're bringing it back, and he's going to be there. And I think it's perfect for him. He just doesn't stop. It makes me sad, man. It went from Stone Cold to John Cena, and now John Cena's leaving, and I got to pick another favorite.
It'll make you enjoy him more when he is around.
It is. It just makes me, you know what it is? It makes me feel old.
It's a feather.
I watched Stone Cold's whole career, and when he retired, I was like, all right, you know what? It's okay. I got John Cena now. John Cena's gone now. He's leaving, and it's like...
Oh, there's plenty of talent in NXT you can start.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still guys I love, but...
Or maybe even Malachi Scott.
Absolutely. Like, I'm a big Seth Rollins fan. He's probably one of my top 3 favorites right now. Yeah. But anyways, moving on. I thought that was good. I don't know if you...
Oh, just speaking of Seth Rollins, I didn't notice I left my cup out. Thanks to our good friends at Performance Shaker. The Seth Rollins cup that should have been hidden, but thank you.
All right, and we're going to go into my favorite AEW news because I love your reactions and all this. This one's a good one. It sells out. Double or Nothing sold out in under 4 minutes. We had all 50 states purchase tickets, 9 different countries, and it's the first same-day sellout in Las Vegas ever. Ever. Now, you can say it,
I'd like to see the history.
Well, see, he's going to dump because he wants to poo-poo on AEW as much as he can. No, it wasn't. Same day sellout, it wasn't. Because you know they free up seats when they break down.
Well, if AEW adds seats.
And if they do, then yeah. But they haven't.
You can't call it that then.
But they did right now.
We're nitpicking.
Right.
It's good. But I'm going to explain it again.
Here we go.
Gotta take you
don't
school,
need to.
Buddy.
What did Young Bucks ever do? What did Cody ever do? I know what you're going to say.
No, that's not it at all.
All right.
What they're doing right now is very impressive. But again, what they're doing right now is a novelty. It is not consistent business. In reality, it's their first show. And if you take away the nitpicking aspect of it, probably you could look at it as their third between All In and the great success Ring of Honor and New Japan are going to have at Madison Square Garden. We'll call it their third show to be fair.
Okay, here we go. I want to ask you something about that too. I thought about this when you always say, do you think MSG would have sold out after Young Bucks and Cody before they had all this? Weren't on that? Do you think that was
not even close?
So there we go. Touchdown New England.
Not even close.
Touchdown New England, baby. That shows that they do draw. Keep on going.
If you want to look at that one event in particular, it's a great super show with a company
competing with WWE Hall of Fame too. So just keep on going.
Halfway around the world, in the biggest arena, in the world's most famous arena. I'm sorry, I almost screwed up there. Having, I don't know, 70,000 wrestling fans in the city.
But it's the same night.
How does it not sell out?
But it's the same night as the WWE Hall of Fame, which WWE is the top dog, and they're outperforming the WWE on that night with the sold-out MSG? Because you know that's not going to be sold out the Hall of Fame.
If it is, it'll be late.
Oh, it's not going to be sold out. I guarantee it.
The X
It's never
in New
sold
York?
out.
No, this year's it's sold out.
I'm talking about recently.
Recently, the past couple of years.
Yeah,
no.
we've
No.
you know what I mean?
But I think with the lineup and where they are, New York City, I think
Well, think
they'll
back.
be full.
I can't even remember. Did it sell out the last time they were there? And they did the Hall of Fame?
Oh, the one at Madison Square Garden in 2013?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was going to say it did, right? So
WWE wasn't able to give me a ticket until the last week.
So that's why. I don't know. I think it says something. I think you're in for a wake-up call when this all starts up.
All I'm going to say is this. It's new. It's a novelty. The fans that love it are willing to spend big money on it, and that's a great thing for them. But when it comes down time for them to really play ball, which is going to be presenting a regular TV show for the fans to nitpick and critique like WWE has to go through every week, it's going to be very different. And I'll say again, and I think I've said this to you before, I would not take anything good or anything bad out of their first 6 weeks once they start to run a regular schedule.
And
if it's bad, it's new. If it's great, it's a novelty.
Here's the thing.
You got to give it time to
Is you're
sink
talking about
in.
the nitpickers? Those nitpickers are the ones that want AEW. You got to remember that. Those are the people that want AEW. They want new. They want something different. They want to see their guys, their indie darlings, their wrestlers, their favorite wrestlers on the indies on that program.
We don't know.
And you're gonna get a lot of the WWE, not the casual fan that goes to just WWE, but you're gonna see a lot of the fans that are in WWE are gonna watch AEW too because they want something. They want something else. But anyways, moving on with
I
more.
hope I'm wrong with my opinions.
More AEW news. We'll just stay on it. I didn't have it in order, but we had speaking of this, you're gonna love this. And Cody Rhodes was doing an interview, and he said he's been looking up scouting stadiums to have a show at AEW too, stadium shows. And if they're thinking what you're saying is gonna end up not doing well.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Take your personal interest in it aside.
Mm-hmm.
If you're running the business, would it be better for you as something new to present something that's white hot with tickets that sell out within seconds as opposed to running a bigger stadium that they're not going to fill
You never know.
and having it just kind of dwindle? I would not do the stadium just for the fact that right now it's not like they're in peril and they're in a financial situation. They have a great deal of money behind
Well, they
them.
keep on choosing these arenas, and they just sell out so quick.
They've had two
right,
shows.
and they could have done bigger, I think.
Sure.
They could have done bigger.
Are they going to fill a football stadium?
Well, no. Let me finish with that. I'm just saying
right.
they could have done bigger, and you put those two crowds together right there. How many fans is that? 30, 40,000. Probably total, what is it, 19,000 at Las Vegas? Is that what it is? And then
I don't know if
11,000.
they sold.
Just say 30,000 people. That's 30,000
All
right
be fair,
there.
yeah.
30,000. And then they have a good TV. They have good TV with this. They have good programming. Everybody's loving it. 60,000? Is that really too high?
I don't think wrestling's popular enough right now.
See, I think it is. On the indies, I think it is.
To fill out a 60,000 seat stadium?
I mean, you already got.
I'll say this. And again, where we do disagree, the one thing I think we can agree on is I hope I'm wrong.
Right.
I'd love to see a promotion.
I would love
a
for you to be wrong.
non-WWE promotion to sell out a football stadium.
I'm very excited
It's
for it.
just not realistic with the fan base as it is right now.
More AEW news. This is the one part I don't understand, and I hope I get an understanding, but Tony Khan was doing an interview, and he said wins and losses are going to matter. How does it matter in wrestling when it's all determined? You know what I mean? Do you know, because you're looking at it like, how does wins and losses matter? That's what he said, and everybody's been talking about it, and I still don't know how I feel
how
about
do wins and losses matter in UFC or boxing?
Right, but because it's all predetermined, like, how does the wins
Well, the guys you want to push and make look good
Right, but
have
there's-
the best win and loss records.
Right, but saying that, do you think that, what does that mean to you? How do
just
you
think
feel
it's
about
gonna
it is
be-
what I'm asking. I know what it means.
It's going to be
obviously.
presented in a more realistic fashion than in WWE, where the wins and losses mean absolutely nothing, which is why the majority of the roster can't get over.
And that means good, right?
I think that is a good approach to take. I wish WWE would take that approach.
Yeah, I mean, I totally. It just, I really didn't understand it. I mean, thinking about it, just wins and losses, because, like, you know, it's predetermined and everything like that. So, but I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see what it.
I'm really anxious to see what their format of the TV show is.
I want to, honestly, I
like.
want to see what channel they land on. I hope it's TNT, just because it'd be like old school.
As long as I can get the channel.
Right.
Because that's the problem I've had
You
with
don't get
TNA
Pursuit?
and Ring of Honor. I don't know what Pursuit is.
It's a hunting channel.
It sounds like one of your apps.
But you can get it on. Oh my God! But you can watch it on Twitch every night too. I mean, every Friday
Yeah,
night
well,
too.
you know, I'll do that next week.
Now we're gonna go on some other news. I was reading Undertaker, obviously, you know, was part of StarCast for AEW, and I guess Vince McMahon's very upset with him about that. How do you feel about that? Do you think he's...
Well, you know, I can understand Vince's point of view. At the same time, is he doing anything with him? You could bring The Undertaker in to do Fan X at WrestleMania. Is he using him? No. So you know what? If they don't want to do anything with him, if the man enjoys meeting the fans and or earning a substantial amount of money for just a couple of hours' work, more power to him.
Substantial.
I'll say this, if WWE was using him for things, then I'd be a little bit more upset about it.
Well, since we're on tape, what's going on with him? Is he just slowly leaving WWE and not going to do anything?
Where he's in the most recent commercials, I think he's going to be a part of WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't understand what's going on.
I hate to say it because of what I think about the man as a talent and as a person and his association with Paul Bearer. I hate to say it, but it's been time for it to end.
Really?
That crown jewel was an embarrassment for all of them. And I hate to say it, but it was. It was awful. It was an embarrassment.
I think it was more for the nostalgia act, but I get what you're saying. I know what you mean.
Well, maybe if it wasn't on TV, but it was.
And you know what? That's why I think Stone Cold stays where he is. I think, you know.
I still think he's got a match.
I still do, too.
He's in good shape.
And he's been training, and he's not doing his podcast right now. I wonder if there's something in the works.
I'm not trying to be cruel, but I think Shawn Michaels is probably the best wrestler I've ever seen. But what did, outside of the pay, what did he get out of doing that match?
One more.
He looked like a flying Q-tip when he did the little moonsaults. It was just...
I can't. I'm not going to get into that. We had some releases by WWE this week. We had the big one, Arn Anderson, which I was surprised about. Tye Dillinger and TJ Perkins were all released.
One more. Hideo Itami.
But we already talked about that in the last...
We did?
Yeah. Go back and watch the show.
He wasn't released yet.
Yeah, he was.
Or maybe they didn't announce it.
Yeah,
maybe. Okay. All right.
But we talked about it. You got to watch our shows.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, that's why we're having the town hall meeting. It's been a very interesting
time. But anyways,
time.
The main one I want to talk about is Arn Anderson. Were you shocked about that?
No.
No.
No one's meant forever in that place. It'd be nice if everyone was, but yeah, I know there's a lot of fans who are in an uproar about it. For all you know, Arn Anderson maybe wanted to do something different in his life. 17 years of a job that requires you to be on the road every single week without a dock period, without an off season. That's quite a grind, especially for a guy whose body went through so much abuse throughout his entire career. I mean, I think Arn Anderson could be an asset to any professional wrestling company in the world. Absolutely. I think maybe WWE, where they've been hiring so many new agents, I think he could have been. They're looking for a fresh coat of paint. Yeah. Maybe he would be more beneficial to a company like AEW as an agent, producer, whatever they want to call it, where WWE is maybe looking to go in a different direction to freshen up the talent that they already have. I don't know that for certain. I did not get, you know me, I like to search out my scoops from those that are within WWE or friends of those within WWE. I really don't know anything about the Arn Anderson situation other than what I saw pop up on Twitter. And, you know, I'd like to think he wasn't ousted in a vicious way, but wrestling can be a very vicious business. I thought the timing was a little weird where they had the Flair birthday.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what's funny? I just thought of this right now where we were kind of laughing about Kurt Angle. Maybe that's who they thought of last minute to take on Anderson's spot during that celebration. But I don't know. As far as Tye Dillinger goes, I know you like him. I
like him, but I mean, I don't, obviously, it's not a big loss. I mean, I get it.
It is not a big loss.
I think he's going to do better in AEW if that's where he goes. I think those fans will appreciate him more because, you know what I mean, that's indie. What he does, it works on the indies here. Just, you know.
I hate the 10 just because I like someone's gimmick if it doesn't take over what other people are doing.
I get
that nonsense every time they try and do a count out with the 10.
You didn't want him to come out at number 10 at the Royal Rumble, huh?
I thought once was amusing. Yeah. 2 years in a row, not so much, but that's what we call lazy booking.
I'm excited for TJP being released. I don't like the guy. I think he's...
You don't like TJP?
No.
Really?
I liked him as Manic when he was in Impact, but that was when he was under a mask. I thought that was pretty good. But other than that, I don't know. I don't think he should have won the Cruiserweight.
I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah, I don't...
We do disagree, yeah.
There's something about him I just don't like. I don't know if it's his wrestling, his promo. I don't know. There's just something that I don't personally like.
Well, there is nothing about the man that comes off as a dangerous professional wrestler.
I think that's a
great athlete.
And I think his gimmick, like the video game stuff, I don't know. To me, it's just it doesn't fit my cup of tea as a wrestler. But there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people love him probably. It's just not me.
He has quite a following on social media. I believe the female fans are fans of TJP. You could have competition
Absolutely.
on some of those apps. But you know what? They did nothing with him, so can you really say it's a loss? I think it's lost potential. Yeah. I think they could have done a lot more with him. And he's big enough where they could have put him on Raw or SmackDown where it wouldn't have been an embarrassment. I mean, he's not a giant guy, but he's not, slight like some of them. But I was disappointed by TJP. But again, were they ever going to do anything with him? No. Did he already reach his peak as far as what they were going to do with him? Most likely. Yeah. And I don't remember what I said when we talked about Hideo Itami being released, but you have match for match, what an in-ring technician, one of the best in the world right now. And again, well, he's been healthy now for quite a while, hasn't he?
Right, but when they were trying to push him, every time it was a start, stop, because he'd get hurt.
They could have tried maybe when he was healthy. I don't know. I don't know the whole behind-the-scenes story on that, too. He was injured a lot, but, when you take a guy, world-renowned talent like that, and you do next to nothing with him, what does that say about the creative people?
Absolutely.
I don't know. One man's opinion, but I hear it again. The road to WrestleMania, baby. We're headed to WrestleCon Times Square, New York, WrestleMania weekend. Take a brief time out. We'll be back with more on Wrestling Insiders. Stand by.
Amherst. On Sunday, March 24th, WWE Live returns on the road to WrestleMania with a massive main event as Braun Strowman collides with Baron Corbin in an epic battle. Plus, anything goes when Finn Balor takes on Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre in a brutal triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. And don't miss your favorite superstars. It's WWE Live on the road to WrestleMania in Amherst, Sunday, March 24th. Tickets are available.
They're ready to take their rightful place amongst the literary greats. Who, you ask?
The New Day!
That's who. It's the Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. It's the feel-good story of the rise of the New Day. Loaded with games, trivia, coloring pages, and so much more. The Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. Available now, online, or wherever books are sold.
Wrestling fans, welcome back to another installment of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan O'Marati along with Dave Okada.
What's up, everybody?
How are you, kid?
I'm fantastic.
We still got more scoops? We got more
absolutely.
news?
We got somebody that we like to go see when he's in town and stuff. Mr. Bruce Prichard, he's back full-time with WWE.
Probably
in
what
a
I
head
would consider
creative
the
role.
biggest news.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. When I seen that, I texted you right away. I thought that was unbelievable. I think that hopefully will help out the creative side of wrestling and hopefully, stop making things make sense a little bit. The only thing I'm afraid of is, I personally enjoy is his podcast. I don't know if he's still going to be able to do that enough. I don't know if there's going to be a conflict of interest there. I don't know how that's going to work out. But he is back with the WWE in a full-time creative role.
Well, the good news is, for the fans, as I inquired about this, is that everything that he has booked as far as events where fans can buy tickets to, those are going to go off without a hitch. As far as the show goes, I'm not sure about that. But, I know Bruce. I've been very happy to host his shows when he's been here in Boston and even head on out to Phoenix recently. A great wrestling mind, a funny guy, someone that I think can really add to the product if he's given a significant amount of input. Anyone can go back, and if they don't have a lot of input, it's really not going to make that much of a difference. But WWE is at a point now where it does not need writers. It does not need people from comic books or Hollywood and sitcoms and things like that. They need people that understand that they are presenting a form of simulated violence and try and come up with unique, interesting, engaging, fun ways for fans to watch it. Absolutely. They don't have many people that do that in 2019. To have Bruce Prichard potentially be in the position he was at with Vince McMahon in the past could potentially be a great thing for WWE. Absolutely. Like I think I said to you and at least a couple of other people when the news came out, don't expect a miracle right away.
No.
But over the next 3 to 4 weeks, if you don't start to see a quality change, I don't know if you're going to get one. Hopefully he's not going to be brought back to be muted, but I'll say this. With the giant success he's had over the past few years, I don't think he'd go back if he wasn't going to have significant
exactly.
input. So I'm very, very happy for Bruce. He's a good guy.
I'm
He's
surprised
a friend.
he went back, honestly, just because of the success of everything else. But like you said, it's going to run its course at some point, and maybe...
A gentleman that helped out the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks toy drive the past couple of years. I can't say enough good things about Bruce and his partner in crime, Conrad Thompson, who I think he may be professional wrestling fans' best friend. I'm very happy for Bruce. I'm happy for WWE. It's just one of those situations where I can't see a negative in it other than potentially, if for whatever reason, he doesn't have the amount of input than it says on the job title. I'm thinking positive.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all you can do. We have some news where WrestleMania 36 is going to be, it's going to be in Tampa, and I texted him right away. I'm very excited because I lived in Tampa. It's like another home for me. I think it's a perfect location, and it's going to be warm. It's going to be nice. Everything's conveniently located, easy to get into Tampa Airport. It's perfect. I think the location is outstanding.
Like you, I was a Floridian for a few years of my life. I love it down in Tampa and just about anywhere in Florida I've ever been to. I think it's great for WrestleMania. I may be in the minority. I am not looking forward to it being in New York this year. It's cold. I've been to New York 40 or 50
just
times
getting into
in
the
my
city,
life.
That's going to be a nightmare.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about WrestleMania once we're done taping, as a matter of fact, now that I think of it. But I'm sure WrestleMania, the show will be good.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the ambiance isn't going to be the way it's been the past few years that we've been down there for it as part of WrestleCon and such. It's just New York's an awfully crowded place, and it's one I'm very familiar with. So to me, I'm sure that there's a lot of people that have never been to New York, that this is the trip of a lifetime to get to see New York City and WrestleMania the same weekend.
Absolutely.
Just for me, not my cup of tea, to be able to go home to the Sunshine State in early April when the weather is just about perfect. You got Busch Gardens, and I'm not talking about what you like to look at on your apps.
Oh, yeah.
I know you like Busch Gardens, but I'm talking about the amusement park.
My favorite. Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about the amusement park. I used to have the annual pass. You have the nightly one. Anyway, I can't wait to go back to Tampa. That was great news. I look forward to, hopefully, knock on wood, being able to go to Houston.
Absolutely.
For Royal Rumble next year. Talk about a great wrestling city.
What about
Houston,
SummerSlam in
Texas.
Toronto?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not that one, but we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Speaking of WrestleMania, we got our first two inductees over the last 2 weeks of who's getting in. DX and Honky Tonk Man. One thing about DX I want to ask you is, with Billy Gunn being part of AEW, are they gonna? What's gonna go on there? You think?
No,
you think he's gonna get? You think he's gonna show up for that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I just didn't know. I don't know. You know? I don't know.
I'm happy, as a matter of fact. Billy Gunn is going to be right across from us at WrestleCon.
Oh, beautiful.
And I imagine he's going to have a very busy table where he'll have the Hall of Fame ring to show off in his pictures.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Yeah,
I think it's nice that you have that kind of cross promotion. Certainly isn't the word for it, but just to have someone that now is affiliated with another group be part of it. I thought it was nice when Ric Flair did it back in Miami.
Well, the only reason why I'm asking that is because if he's part of the MSG show because of AEW, I didn't know, you know what I mean?
Well, that's not an AEW show.
But there's going to be some talent there, so I didn't know if he was going to be part of, you know what I mean? But no.
That's his night. I mean, the people, you can talk pros and cons about the people involved with AEW, but I think they look at the industry from a different point of view.
I get
and
you.
I think they seem to send out very nice thoughts
I just asked
about
the
Billy
questions.
Gunn
I totally get you.
when it was announced that he was going to go in. And, I'm happy you have two guys from the Millennium Wrestling Federation going in. Road Dogg was the headliner for the first few MWF Live events. He had two, not one, but two unfortunate instances with us that I don't want to talk about when we're having this type of conversation. But, out of all the people that have no-showed us and stiffed us, Road Dogg is the only one that ever apologized for it when it was all said and done. And the amount of respect I have for him for doing that blows away the hatred I have for the other ones that all but stole from us.
Right.
And X-Pac, there's a man, one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
There's someone now would probably be a headliner and someone in contention for the World Championship.
Yep. He came too early.
He came too early.
Oh,
they don't say that about you on Tinder.
They
don't
say
worry.
that.
Well, they've been saying that about me
you were
since the
say
90s.
that.
But anyway, I think he's one of the most underrated talents ever.
Honestly,
he can go. His promos had a believability to them, even if he didn't have the clearest voice. Oh, I mean, 1, 2, 3, kid, kind of a kid-type gimmick, no pun intended, but as X-Pac and whatever he did in NWO, this guy, if he could have kept himself clean and sober, what we could be saying about his Hall of Fame resume.
Right. And the biggest one that's going in is China. I mean, that everybody wants her in, and I think it's huge. I think it's great. I think she's going to get the biggest reaction. Everybody's won her in for a long, long time, and I think that's really
all
big.
Want her in.
They do. You don't because you don't like women. That's your problem.
No, you want it? I'll be honest with you. I don't like the way she finished her tenure in WWE.
Nice.
I was around for her.
Oh, well, you think that's her fault? You're freaking getting cheated on.
No, but when she tried to hijack the company for what she wanted for her salary, that had nothing to do with
I don't
who
know
was
nothing
having
about
sex
that.
with who. Well, I do.
Well, you know what? I don't want to know about that. All I know is everybody wants.
Well,
I'm talking about her going into Hall of Fame. That's it. I think everybody's very excited about that.
My point is, everyone, the fans and whatnot, always said, "Oh, it's awful what they did to her."
I'm not saying that. I didn't say that.
If the rumored ways of how China found out about Triple H and Stephanie is true, it's not a nice thing at all. But in 2001, when her contract came due, on top of a situation where you had a combustible issue going on with Triple H and Stephanie, she was very, very, very difficult at the negotiating table. And that was, I think, May of 2001. So that was not her personal issues with Triple H was not the only thing in play when she left. And she never included that part in the story when she'd buried WWE, along with her other personal issues she had, which I'm not going to attack the woman on that. A lot of people in wrestling have gone through that. But for those that just knock WWE because they think it's a Triple H and Stephanie issue, that wasn't the only thing that went on at that point. She was difficult to deal with. She had a massive ego, not to say that there weren't others at that time that did, but she couldn't have picked a worse time to try and play those cards because, let me tell you, Stephanie wasn't leaving. Triple H wasn't leaving.
Obviously.
You know what I mean?
I'm just saying the Hall of Fame. People want her in. But anyways, I
think...
She's
a Hall of Fame character.
Right. Anyways, Honky Tonk Man, the greatest Intercontinental Champion.
The most well-deserved.
Yeah.
No, and you know what?
Opinion, greatest Intercontinental Champion.
None of them drew better than Honky Tonk Man. Are those 7 people that are going in?
Absolutely.
None of them. Triple H was around during the Attitude Era. Him alone. His feuds did not draw like Honky Tonk Man did on top. Shawn Michaels, I think, not the greatest character of all time, not the greatest drawer of all time, but the man that I feel is the best professional wrestler of all time, couldn't draw like Honky Tonk Man did.
Way.
Everybody else in that DX faction all went through periods where they could draw next to nothing. When Honky Tonk was the Intercontinental Champion, he lit that company on fire, whether he was feuding with Jake, Ricky Steamboat, Savage, Beefcake, Ultimate Warrior. He had 2 months in a row headlining at the Boston Garden against Bruno Sammartino even. Everybody wanted to see the Honky Tonk Man get the shit knocked out of him. Everybody knew that could be the night. He was going to lose that title and they were going to see it live. Even a stiff like Beefcake, who was a good character, but I mean, he was awful in the ring. Honky drew with Beefcake a few months in a row. It's sad that it took this long for it to happen. Again, Honky Tonk Man can be a difficult person when it comes to the negotiating table, and I think the money had something to do with it too. But as far as his resume, certainly it does not have the resume of a Shawn Michaels or a Triple H. But his body of work, when they put him on top,
awesome.
I mean, you'd go to that Boston Garden. That venue would shake. I'd love to hear from any fans in the Northeast that maybe saw Honky Tonk Man in Boston or maybe MSG. I don't know. I never went to MSG for a show Honky was on. I was too young. But that building would shake. When he worked Savage, the heat in that building, they did a match. It was December of '87 when they put, you know, the cage the manager sits in. They put Jimmy Hart at the top of the arena, and Savage was trying to get to the cage, and it was an electric atmosphere. Everybody wanted to see Honky Tonk Man die. And you don't have heels like that anymore.
No.
So, I mean, was he the greatest Intercontinental Champion as far as his in-ring work
crazy
goes?
as just speaking it, I have the visual in my head.
No. But as far as the draw goes and the interest goes, this is a guy that back when they ran a schedule of close to 300 nights a year, not the make-believe 300 that they throw out there nowadays, but when the guys would work 300 live events a year, he was headlining with the Intercontinental Championship. When is the last time an Intercontinental Champion could have been headlining shows and doing sellout business? Austin was Intercontinental Champion, and at that point, they weren't even doing sellout business. Nothing against Steve Austin, but it's just at that point, The belt
Right.
wasn't that much of a draw. Honky it was. So I applaud loudly. Now, it doesn't make a difference now, but I had reached out to Honky Tonk to join us at WrestleCon. I thought he would have been a fun guest. And I kind of got the impression that something was up with the way it was declined. So good for Honky Tonk, man.
Awesome.
I'm very happy, and I'm very happy for wrestling fans that may be around my age, or maybe those that are a little older that really enjoyed the 80s.
Absolutely. The only thing is I have some rumored people that could be going
Wait
in.
a minute. What do we got?
For the WrestleMania this year, Hall of Fame, could be Taz and Christian were rumored. I don't know. I think Taz definitely because it's in Brooklyn. And
Taz makes
I think
sense.
his body of work is definitely Hall of Fame worthy. Not so much in WWE, but in other places. You know what I mean? Being because there's nobody that works like him anymore. There's nobody.
If I was doing a professional wrestling Hall of Fame, I'd say no. In a WWE Hall of Fame, yes.
Okay.
Really, what was the body of work? It was more commentary than wrestling.
Well, ECW, he was, had a
Yeah,
nice
but-
run with their title. Had some great matches with Bam Bam Bigelow, Sabu,
Did,
RVD.
he did.
You know what I mean? So that's why
And
I
I'll
said
tell you
everything.
this,
And even in his beginning at WWE, until they had him come out that first night, other than that.
Royal Rumble 2000, remember the reaction he got when
Yeah.
he squashed Kurt Angle?
That's what I mean.
And
then
you
they
talk
just
about
dropped
a
the ball.
guy they killed quick.
That's what I was saying. If they just kept on going, it would have been.
You know what would have got him over? Just forget about Angle. Imagine if he went out there and did that to Kane with a Big Show. You have a guy that's under 6 feet tall, this badass MMA-style gimmick.
Yeah.
Taking out one of the two of them
And he
and
was
making
doing
a
it for
tap like
anybody,
that
yeah.
in New York City.
That's why I say I think there's no one that's like him anymore. There's no one guy that's like him. He's just a badass.
I always talk about credibility. Angle was always used as an idiot, so that win didn't have as much impact as it would have been if he took out a giant.
Well,
One man's opinion.
I think him being an Olympic wrestler, I think it was still pretty impact. But no, I get what you mean.
It was
If a giant.
presented as an idiot.
But people don't forget the gold medals because he always had those swing from the neck.
Well, yeah.
But anyways, and then Christian, I think Christian should be in too. I think he had a great run with Edge and Christian together. I think he was a great worker. Had great chance with the IC title, great champion.
He's definitely a WWE Hall of Fame.
Right, that's what I'm
if I'm
saying.
looking at it, if I'm running a wrestling Hall of Fame, I'd have to give that one some real thought. He might be the Harold Baines, because I know you're a baseball fan.
Absolutely, I know what you're
I'd
saying.
have to give that one a lot of thought, because I like Harold Baines, but I don't necessarily think he's a baseball.
Or the Fred
Hall of
McGriff,
Fame.
right?
Fred's out.
Right.
I'm saying Christian could be in mine,
Right.
but I'd have to give it a lot of thought.
But like Fred should be in, but he's not. You know what I mean? That's
If he
what I'm
just
going.
stuck around to get those last 7 home runs.
Yeah. And what are you gonna do?
What are you going to do for the poor crime dog?
Crime Dog McGriff.
There you go. Woof, woof.
But that's it for news.
All right, wait a minute. No,
What's that?
it's not Green Light by Pitbull. We're hearing the theme music in the background. We'll be back after this brief timeout to wrap up the show.
Cleveland on Sunday, March 10th. WWE superstars go full throttle on the road to WrestleMania at WWE Fastlane pay-per-view.
You better believe Kofi, Ryan,
A supercharged battle for the WWE Championship. And
the best tag team in the world is now the Usos.
but Shane McMahon and Cleveland's own The Miz are on a collision course for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. It's WWE Fastlane in Cleveland Sunday, March 10th. Tickets are available. See the moments
Generation X invades WCW.
you'll always remember like never before.
Occupy Raw has taken over.
With Raw, the first 25 years, packed with rare photos, profiles of your favorite superstars, and so much more. From the very first Raw to the 25th anniversary, it's the ultimate guide to WWE's flagship show. Raw, the first 25 years. Available now.
Wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Marotti, Dave Carter. We've had a lot of news, a lot of programs this week to discuss. More great content, original content next week with the Hall of Famer Tony Atlas. I hope we're going to be back taping next week.
Absolutely. That's my plan.
Is that a
unless you have-
promise?
unless you have an indie show to go to again.
Well, believe me, that is not going to be a regular thing.
Okay.
That is not going to be a regular thing for anyone to worry about.
All right.
But no, I was happy to get out and enjoy some wrestling. I'll be talking more about that. But again, what is the name of the March pay-per-view? Fastlane.
Fastlane.
And I have
March
it written
10th.
down on this paper, but I am so blind I cannot read
March
the paper.
10th, Fastlane.
What do we have? Another full-length, free Memories and Legends. Tony Atlas takes you behind the scenes of when he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in Chicago, Illinois. WrestleMania 22 weekend in 2006. Also enshrined was Bret Hart. Talk about a turmoil that it took for Bret to come back to WWE after the Montreal Screwjob. Vern Gagne was inducted, Sensational Sherry, the Blackjacks, the late Eddie Guerrero. A very interesting episode. We've already taped it, so we hope you join us on Fastlane Sunday. And all roads are headed to the big one, the Big Apple, New York City. Times Square, it's going to be WrestleCon for the 4th straight year we're going to be there. We're not going to be with Tony Atlas. Mr. USA, I guess, is working on a special project with the Doctor of Desire, David Reese. But we're going to be announcing who will be joining us at WrestleCon soon. It's going to be 2 great days. Check out WrestleCon.com for complete event information. And you want to talk about WrestleMania weekend. A lot's going to be happening in New York.
Absolutely.
But on the BostonWrestling.com super site, we're going to have the MWF Town Hall session. There's a lot of fans that have been waiting quite a while, especially here in the Boston area, about what we're going to be talking about. WrestleMania Sunday, BostonWrestling.com, and you can, as always, like, share, and subscribe with us on YouTube, and join over 50,000 of your fellow wrestling fans at MWF Project X. Of course, we need your help to keep things free, baby. You look at some of the great items on this set, especially that NXT TakeOver Phoenix autograph poster behind me. A lot of it's available on our eBay channel. We're going to put a link down there below. Every time you spend a few bucks on eBay, or more than a few, depending upon the item, it helps us give you more free content. And I would be remiss, after all the cheap plugs, if I didn't get a couple of birthdays in. The chairman of the Millennium Wrestling Federation strikes just a couple of inches closer to the year 40. We wish him a happy birthday. Little Marathi, senior of the two, one of our junior ambassadors, Brandon J., we wish him a very happy birthday. And one of your dear friends down in Cape Town, South Africa, we wish him a very happy 25th as the Fenner reaches a quarter-century years of age. Isn't that something?
That's crazy.
He's got friends everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's on Tinder, though.
I don't know either.
All right. But for Dave Carter, I'm Dan Marathi. Leave your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below. Until we speak again next week, you and yours be well.